Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what's being whispered around the league right now is nothing short of a blockbuster move that could reshape the AFC North and send shockwaves through the NFL. Sources close to the league, including some of the top insiders like Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini, are buzzing about a potential trade that's been gaining momentum. And no, it's not just idle chatter. This could be one of those moves that define a franchise's future. The rumor: the Los Angeles Rams, who are still in the early stages of their rebuild, might be looking to part ways with Davante Adams. That's right, Adams, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the league, could be heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if it happens, it's going to be a game changer. Right now, the Rams are sitting at a modest 1-1 record after a roller coaster start to the season. They've been struggling on defense, allowing 25 points per game, a number that's not going to cut it if they want to contend. Their offense, however, still has some firepower, especially with Adams, who's been performing at an elite level whenever healthy. The Rams, with cap space freed up after trading Adams, would be looking to focus on youth, bolstering their offensive line, which has allowed 8 sacks in just 2 games, and maybe even extending some key players like Stafford's successors. But the real prize here is Adams, and the Steelers sitting with a healthy cap space of around $25 million could be the perfect landing spot for him. Imagine the impact if Adams joins Pittsburgh. It's like a lightning bolt hitting the Steelers' offense. The team, which has been average at best in the air with about 190 yards per game, could see that number easily climb to over 280 yards, transforming their passing game overnight. Kenny Pickens, George Pickens, and now Adams. That's a recipe for nightmares for defenses. Adams, at 32, is still performing at a level that rivals much younger receivers. His 2025 stats are nothing short of spectacular, already racking up 149 yards and 2 touchdowns in Week 2 against Arizona, with a total career yardage of over 700 yards and 82 touchdowns. His overall PFF grade is an impressive 92. And his metrics this season, EPA per target of 0.45, a YAC of 6.2 yards, show that he's still a dominant force. And let's not forget his consistency. Adams has been a 3-time All-Pro and a 6-time Pro Bowler. His explosiveness is still there with an average of 13.5 yards per reception in 2025, and he's been flawless in terms of drops, 0 drops on 78 targets. His injury history? Minimal, with just 1 injury in 2024 and projected to score around 9 touchdowns this season. Comparatively, his trade to the Seahawks in 2020 boosted DK Metcalf's aerial yards by 180, and Adams is that kind of game changer. Think of him as a cheat code for any offense. Now, why would the Rams do such a thing? Well, their focus on improving their offensive line is clear. After allowing 8 sacks in 2 games, they need to protect Stafford better, especially with extensions on the horizon for Stafford's potential successors. Plus, with a record of 1-1, their offense has been stagnant, just 220 yards per game through the air. They need to draft young talent and rebuild around that core. Trading Adams now, at 32, makes strategic sense to avoid a steep decline after his prime, much like what we saw with OBJ fading out after a few seasons. For the Steelers, this trade would be nothing short of seismic. Adding a weapon like Adams would instantly elevate their aerial attack from around 190 yards per game to an estimated 280 yards. That's a 15% increase in EPA per pass attempt, and it would take Pittsburgh from a team that's been kind of stuck in neutral to a legitimate contender. Adams would complement George Pickens perfectly, creating mismatches that defenses simply can't handle. His routes are precise, and his YAC, yards after catch, would jump by around 30%. The defense, which has been stellar this season, allowing just 15 points per game, would benefit from having to focus less on coverage and more on getting to the quarterback. The added pressure on opposing lines would increase sacks by about 20%, especially with more play-action passing that Adams excels at creating space in. In the AFC North, Pittsburgh's defense already dominates, allowing only 15 points per game. Adding Adams, who could be projected to rack up around 200 yards this season, would make the Steelers' offense one of the most explosive in the league. They've been inconsistent at times, but with Adams on board, that inconsistency could turn into consistent firepower. Consider how his presence would impact the division rivals, especially the Bengals. Adams has already proven he can dominate against top competition, and a move like this would make Pittsburgh's offense almost unstoppable. His chemistry with Pickens would be immediate, and defenses would have to double him, opening up even more opportunities for the Steelers' other receivers and tight ends. And what about the playoff picture? Well, the odds for the Steelers to make a deep run would skyrocket. Currently, the Super Bowl LVII odds sit around +8-0, but with Adams, they could improve significantly to around +3-500. This move could serve as the ultimate X factor, especially in the playoffs where clutch performance matters most. Adams' ability to come up big in red zone situations, he's already catching 80% of his targets in the red zone, would be invaluable. His track record suggests he's a player who elevates his game when it matters most, and in the high-stakes environment of the playoffs, that's exactly what Pittsburgh needs. Looking ahead to Super Bowl LXI, if this trade materializes, it's easy to envision the Steelers as one of the top contenders. The presence of Adams would not only boost their offensive stats, but also send a message across the league. Pittsburgh is back in the conversation, ready to fight for another Lombardi. The Steelers' front office has shown a willingness to make bold moves before. Think of their trades and drafts that built dynasties, and acquiring Adams would be right in that tradition. It's reminiscent of the trades that helped establish some of the greatest Steelers teams in history, where star power and strategic moves paved the way to glory. Now, I know some fans might be cautious, wondering about the cap implications or whether this move is too risky at this stage of Adams' career. But the numbers speak for themselves. His projected 200 yards and multiple touchdowns this season would be a huge boost, and at only 32, he still has plenty of prime years ahead. The Steelers have the cap flexibility to absorb his contract, especially with some creative maneuvering, and the potential on-field rewards far outweigh the risks. In conclusion, this move, if it happens, is a game-changer. It's the kind of bold, strategic play that can elevate a team from good to great, from playoff contender to Super Bowl favorite. Adams' arrival would be a statement to the entire league. The Pittsburgh Steelers are back on top, and they're here to stay. As a fan, I can already see the highlights. Adams making those impossible catches, celebrating in the end zone, silencing doubters, and rallying the city of Pittsburgh. This is what dreams are made of, folks, and I, for one, can't wait to see how it unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Do you think this trade could be the spark the team needs to finally get over the hump and make a real Super Bowl push? Or do you see potential pitfalls? Either way, your voice is important. I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insider info, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. This is the kind of bold move that could define the franchise's future, and I couldn't be more excited to watch it all unfold. Let's go, Steelers.